keine Stimme hat? Wenn ja, dann tritt für mich ein, so wie ich für dich eingetreten bin. Dear fellow Germans, a sudden commotion has come over the German people. Now even those circles are beginning to stir, which until now have been deaf to the constant warnings that we have been trying to address to the mass of our people, almost without interruption, for the past 3 years. Of course, many people still do not know why they are upset. They believe that perhaps it is only about so-called special privileges, or about the restriction of freedom of speech, or about the politicization of the civil service, and so on. Certainly, all these are extremely serious matters. Today, however, it is about much more. It is about a huge process of destruction of our people and our fatherland. This is happening now before our very eyes. All these things would be trifles in themselves if they did not represent characteristics of a process which has been taking place for many years and whose end will be a horrible one. We can all sense that now two worlds are colliding with each other. And not only here, but everywhere we look. In the now oppressed Russia, in Italy, in France, and in England, etc. A relentless struggle between the ideal national-minded and the nebulous international. It is a struggle that now goes back almost 120 years. It began at the moment when the Jew received the right of citizenship in the European states. The political emancipation of the Jews was the beginning of a madness, for with it one gave full civic rights and equality to a people which was racially much more clearly and abruptly demarcated than all others, which always formed and will always form a state within the state. Perhaps not all at once, but it went just as it does today, and as it always has gone. First a little finger, then a second and a third, and so bit by bit, until at last a people which still in the 18th century appeared to be completely alien, came to possess politically the same rights of citizenship as ourselves. And that's exactly how it went economically as well. The mass industrialization of the people meant the crowds came into being. Unfortunately, not properly handled by...
Thoughts on trespassing. 1. Every horse I've ever seen has been behind a fence. I don't believe you can own a living being, but my beliefs don't matter against things like guns and money. A fence is a fiction, a way of telling a story about who is allowed to exist where. 2. I've developed a hobby of trespassing. Garden plots at midnight and orchards at sunset. Private beaches. I will never be able to own anything like this. I barely own a 2007 Toyota Matrix with duct tape in like multiple places. I have feet and decent ears. I know this alone makes me lucky. 3. This past week, the San Francisco District Attorney encouraged drivers to file charges against protesters for closing off traffic on the Golden Gate Bridge. The protesters were calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. If the protesters made a kind of fence around the cars, it was not a story about ownership, it was a question. How can any of us move freely in a world of bombs and borders? 4. Scientists say there may be no such thing as wild horses anymore. There are feral horses, re-wilded from domesticated bloodlines, but any genetic lineage of the original, non-domesticated ones is gone. We have literally owned a species to death. 5. The first time I wore a dress, how could I have known the danger of crossing boundaries? I still remember the thrill of crossing the thrift store walkway, trying to look all casual as I sifted silks and cottons between my fingers. 6. Imagine being called a trespasser as somebody closes your own front door in your face. 7. I call on the memory of ancestors and wild horses, the life original and fading. Find me feral at least. Trespass, meaning to go beyond. Do something the world tells you not to do. Jump a fence, kiss a friend consensually, write an honest poem. In the wise words of the Tumblr generation, be planetary memory, if we could carry everything we know and decide again, who among us would choose this future? Who would take ranunculus blossom and redbud, rocket fuel and stethoscope, knowing it also meant rape, villages turned to ash right now, the dying of the coral reefs right now? Probably most of us. Probably me too.
Great masses concentrated in the cities did not come into direct contact with this foreign nation, and the aversion which would necessarily arise did not find sufficient nourishment. Finally, the Jews of England, who at that time numbered scarcely 50 to 60,000, were able to Europeanize themselves with playful ease to such an extent that they remained hidden from the primitive eye of the common man, and he could not notice them as pillars of the economy, but especially as the bearers of great capital. They no longer appeared as foreigners, but as Englishmen themselves. This prevented anti-Semitism from gaining fundamental power in these countries. The same was true of France. Of information, it was possible to found the prototypical large parties. Even back then, there were always 2 or 3 groups that appeared to be fighting against each other, but in reality, were all hanging on a gold thread, and everything was adjusted to a peculiar human characteristic. That man gets tired of something he has had for a long time. He wants something new, and so 2 parties were needed. One of them ruled, and the other one formed the opposite.
What up, Philly? My name is T. Sleevers. The number one hardest thing we all have to do as humans in this world is be subjected to the evil and remain good despite the bullshit we go through. I'm a mental health poet, to double tap on the last 2 poets. Mental health is everything. It don't matter what situation you're in. You can have everything going perfectly fine. Your finances, your house, whatever the case may be. If your head is not on straight, nothing else matters, dog. So tonight, I write a lot of mental health poetry. Tonight, I wrote a piece for the men. As a man myself, I was subjected to a lot of emotional brutality just growing up. And the hardest realization I came to is that nobody really gives a shit. So this is just a piece for the men. This is called Teach a Boy to Cry. People think the deconstruction of a man is some loud, violent occurrence. This outpour of bitterness towards the world. And in reality, the deconstruction of a man is a silent film, a common surgical procedure that the world didn't know it was trained to do. The breaking of a boy is the world's quietest natural disaster. As a man, there is no such thing as being stuck between a rock and a hard place. You either use the stones at rock bottom to build a way out, or you get buried by them. Ain't nobody coming to save you. The entire world is trying to construct you into its perfect little image, and the people around you are the ones who fuel the process of your manufactured masculinity. Some of us are going to make it through assembly, but we need to watch out for our defective counterparts, because the whole world is going to use their flaws to define all of us. Luckily, most defective product is aware of its own shortcomings and tends to destroy itself given enough time alone with its imperfections. This abridged explanation of the process is how you become a man or a monster. Everybody knows what a monster does. Everybody judges the monster. Nobody questions its creator. Some of us are manufactured to make light of our peril, with jokes, if you will. Male comedians are magicians in this way. How they take their pain and airbrush it into something laughable. He, ha, ha. Joke about a failed suicide. The crowd laughs. The curtains close. The comedian drinks all the way home. A man's tears are just funny that way. How they have to be translated to be accepted. How they have to be transcribed into an art form to be worthy of observation. How you have to bleed artistically to become a worthy topic of conversation. Funny how we can joke about a man's misery, but nobody taught the boy to cry. but they taught him how to fight. Nobody tucked him in at night, so he doesn't sleep at night. Nobody offers protection to the protectors. Nobody provides the provisions. Nobody looks after the overseer. Nobody has ever tried to guide the man who steers. Everybody judges the weak men. Nobody checks on the strong ones. Only other men know how subtle a difference before the transition. Nobody taught the boy to cry, so he would do it at all the wrong times. In the barber chair, getting casket sharp, remembering the funeral of a failed relationship. In the grocery aisle, breaking down because he's weighed down by the tears collecting in his baggage at a soccer game. Remembering what it was like to be a boy running towards a goal. Most men will only experience unconditional love from their mothers, and some of us don't even get that. Most of us have never even felt appreciation or respect without conditions or hidden intentions. We don't know what it sounds like to hear, "I see you, and I'm proud of you. I'm glad you're here. You really make a difference." Yet the expectation is to constantly be displaying the strength and love that the world is hesitant in conveying. We're expected to have a thick skin but get judged if it turns to a hard shell. The first step in being a man is ignoring the hunger. Cause yes, boy, you gon' be starving. Starved of attention.
The news, and I watch other people's nations formed over, while right out my window it looked like death done warmed over, swarmed over my folk like Revelation is amidst us right now. Death in jail, ready to enlist us right now. Fight how? I ain't been given the proper guidance or weaponry needed to protect myself. I never heeded advice to respect thyself. Shit, that was usually given to me from some corner nigga. You know the type when coke was ripe, a 3-year run, then gone a nigga. Spawn a nigga. I'm the side effect of the Willie Lynch prescription. Staged stereotypically, so I always fit the description. Educated improperly, so I never saw the encryption. For America to run smoothly, somebody gotta go through some friction. So I've been chosen for the addiction, to sell it and to use it. If you never learn how to love life, there's plenty room to abuse it. So I misuse it for all it's worth, cause they refuse to give me a boost. They start me pecking for their little chicken feed, then get upset when I come home to roost. Shit, I wanna sip the juice, but life's fruit ain't meant for me to squeeze. Built this brothel on my back and confined me to a striptease. Assigned me the disease and put the poison in cute disguises. They spend millions keeping us broke cause they know poverty demoralizes. And uprises crime and they stock on prison life. These bitch niggas get rich, making the poor envision strife. Wife and state perform corporate merger. Husband becomes inmate and purger. In hip-hop culture, it's named the urger. This shit is supposed to disturb you. Ain't supposed to be able to sit tight as words merge. They should be urging my people to get right. My nigga Sean love me to death. He said, yo, black nigga, this a shit fight. These ignorant niggas is stuck. They ain't gonna listen. I said, they just might. If the spit tight.
only become a grave insult to the broad masses. While he thus corrupted the people on the one hand by his evil example, he destroyed them also in terms of blood. More and more Jews wormed their way into the families of the upper classes, and it was from the Jews that these families took their wives. The consequence of this, however, was that in a short time, the leading stratum of the nation became completely alienated from its own people. All of that was the prerequisite for his work on the left side. And he exploited these prerequisites brilliantly. And he succeeded further by ingenious use of the press to influence the masses so much that the faults of the left were seen by the right as the faults of the German worker. And the faults of the right appeared to the German worker as the faults of the so-called bourgeoisie. And neither of them noticed that riling up the masses by telling them bread has gotten more expensive and this and that have gotten more expensive. Don't tolerate it anymore. Arise, proletarians, down with so-and-so. This process is practically complete in Russia. The whole of today's Russia is nothing more than a ruined culture and a mature colony to be cultivated by foreign capital, which must nevertheless draw in Aryan minds as practical laborers, for the Jew is not fit for this either. Here too, he is only rapacious and gluttonous. He knows no orderly economy and no orderly body of people. He steals everything over there in Russia. They take the diamonds away from the noblemen to help the people, but then the diamonds disappear into foreign companies, never to be seen again. He seizes the wealth of the church, but not to feed the people. No, everything wanders away and disappears without a trace. He has become completely irrational in his greed. He cannot preserve anything. He has only the drive for destruction in him. Once he has destroyed everything, he will collapse along with that which he has destroyed. It is a tragic fate that has struck the people of the northeast of our fatherland. In the past, we were often supposed to get upset about some bandit who received his just punishment here or there. When an anarchist was put up against the wall in Spain, there was a great howl in our country about this sacrifice of the most precious human blood. When a Max Holtz is brought...
What happens in neighborhoods where the self-esteem has been overshadowed by the decay and the children no longer play the way they used to? Where young boys choose to follow figures that had no father figures, a place where lives have been reduced to mere names on a nigga wall. A lot of dead shames on a nigga wall, cause most of my childhood friends died over some dumb shit. It's like we all on some slum shit. Whatever happened to that, we shall overcome shit. Where I'm from, shit. They done took away boys clubs and neighborhood sports. It's a place where little boys put on jerseys and shorts, dream big about stardom on fine hardwood courts, but awake to the harsh reality of the stripped, unfinished inner city floor where life splinters. Cold winters are sheltered by crack houses instead of recreational centers that they claim to not have the paper to keep open for operation. The deconstruction of the black family has been in perpetuation ever since Willie Lynch set his theory in motion. Decharacterization was his sole promotion. Therefore, if you take the basketball out of his face and put the coke in its place, he'll still score. What's a young boy to do when he doesn't want to do wrong, but there's a lock on the right door? When he has the heart of a soldier, the aggression of a prize fighter, but no one's told him what to fight for. See, most of our families are fatherless and quite poor, so we miss out on meals as well as kisses and hugs. You've got the audacity to cut the funding for the facilities that keep us off the streets, didn't ask us why we sell drugs. But imagine if niggas put down their dice and guns, picked up their daughters and sons and put a little love right there where the hate is. Imagine if niggas had the chance to become accountants before being taught what the difference between wet and dry weight is. Imagine if these little inner city kids has the same type of schools that these rich kids have way out there in the sticks. Imagine if niggas had the chance to learn chemistry for real before we learn how to whip 7.5 out of 6. Imagine if that little black girl could go to that dance school for free and love the dream of that Broadway show. Imagine if she wasn't forced into a game where you assume a filthy name and put your soul and your ass up for show. Imagine if she was taught to love herself, imitate no one, demand and demonstrate respect when she walks through the door. Imagine if she watched herself and saw herself during the primetime hour instead of the 4 o'clock video whore. Imagine.
they see that one particular insight is beginning to take hold of the masses, the National Socialist doctrine, whether under ours or another name, more and more it gains ground everywhere. All these people cannot yet be in a party together, but wherever one goes in Germany, indeed almost in the whole world, there are already millions of thinkers who know that a state can only be built on a social basis. And secondly, that the mortal enemy of every truly social idea is the international Jew. Every truly national thought is ultimately social. That is, whoever is ready to stand up for his people so completely that he really knows no higher ideal than the welfare of this people. Whoever has grasped the meaning of our great song, Germany, Germany above all, in such a way that nothing in this world is higher to him than this. He knows the old parties. They are easy to please. A few endowments in the form of ministerial chairs and similar posts, and they fall.
Hello, I'm Roy Masters, and I don't have any degrees. That doesn't mean to say I'm not smart. I am. But I'm not pedigreed smart. I've always known that knowledge is a form of ignorance. And that once you lose yourself in knowledge, thinking that you get smart, you're only smart because you think you're smart. Yes, you think that you're smart, but you're not smart. You're just involved in mechanical thoughts and ideas. And from that point onwards, you've lost something called understanding. The ability to put ideas together. The ability to reach for ideas and discover new things like Einstein. We're all capable people like Einstein, but something's happened to us. The school system, your church, your parents, victims of the school system, the political system, and the church, have lost that understanding with which to bring you up. And that's what you saw missing in your parents. There's something missing called love, a brightness. As a matter of fact, you might have been threatened, that you might have threatened their dumbness, their idea of what smart was. And they might have reacted to your innocence and your perception and put your lights out. Made you think that simply knowing without knowing why you knew was wrong. That it was wrong to see something wrong with them, which there was. And so you thought there was something wrong with seeing something wrong with them. After all, they were your parents, they were authority, they're supposed to know. And they gave you the idea that you didn't know and they did. That was the biggest mistake you ever made in your life. Does anybody understand what I just said? How many people understand that, honest? Good, see? I'm trying to make something simple for you, if you don't mind. I'm going to be speaking to you this evening about some very interesting and simple principles. And I invite you to stop me anytime you want to. Probably you wanted to stop me already. And dialogue with me and disagree with me agreeably. Ask me to explain what I mean by whatever it is I say. But I'm going to show you some very simple principles, just like I did just now. Didn't I? Isn't that very basic? Isn't that when you were a little child, you had it, and now you're older, you don't have it. And now that you don't have it, you think you do. And you become a parent. See? And that's the problem. This is what's wrong with the human race. We had it, and the day we're born, or pretty close to that time, we lose it. Some of us don't lose it completely. I was very fortunate. I didn't lose it at all. Somehow, they just couldn't lay it on me. I just kept laying on them back, and they don't like it to this very day. Now I'm not a little child anymore, looking through those original eyes and disturbing the hell out of those people. It's a war of the worlds is what it is. Where I'm coming from is at war where they're coming from. And they hate me. They hate you. They've always hated you. They've always hated your brightness and your childlike innocence. They. Who are they? The great, unwashed masses. The leaders, the preachers, the rabbis. All the educated ignorant. As I said, knowledge is a form of ignorance. A form of thinking yourself wise in your own eyes, but forgetting the truth that you're not, and never wanting to face it by gathering to yourself more knowledge, heaping to yourself religious verses and chapters, thinking that you
Rotate the wake, the queen, the bishop, the rook, the knight, the gloom, clouds to prevail for the conscious light, the cosmic, for the astronaut walking over your catching of the crosshair, for the whiffing of your melancholy, for the definition of the pain, but I'm fine soon. It used to be that, it used to be the push of the tummy, for the bend for the air, for the might not be funny enough to laugh, for the streaming over the way to be between existence, twisted, apathetic, for the euphoria, for the damning expression, for the depression, for the wrong, for the right, for the not the holding too much weight, for the spectacle, for the too much tonight, for I find a passion for the project. Around if it should be accessing deep the way of carry the station to the crooks. Rotate the wake, the queen, the bishop, the rook, the knight, the gloom, clouds to prevail for the conscious light, the cosmic, for the astronaut walking over your catching of the crosshair, for the whiffing of the melancholy, for the definition of the pain that I'm fine soon. It used to be that, for it used to be the push of the tummy, for the bend for the air, for the might not be funny enough to laugh, the streaming over the way to be between existence. Twisted, apathetic, for the euphoria, for the damning expression, for the depression, for the wrong, and view for the right, for the not the holding too much weight, for the spectacle, for the too much tonight, for I find a passion for the project. Around if you should be obsessing for the preventative care, for the slave, sorrow, for the scratching, for your spite, for the tip of the tunnel, for the tongue clouds, this boy I find here, believe for the words of deep love. And the embers of the flame to catch fire, spreading in the matter, find the fixing of the things, the angles of the cute, enough to find a spike, to help you enough to hear now, hurt. Thousands of me for the hate, the truth, now for the duality, for the handle, the reality, for the reason, for your excuse, and perhaps that finally failed to begin with. A mind who refuses to never leave. You can't find a captain for the body, for the decay, the puppet, for the first time you find an else palm. Spawn for this my patio, vibes in your mug. Find the autumn air for the drooling of the bounce. Your chest. Find the fingers of the hair for the quick and the sound of the crickets, so nobody cares. The sticking with the heartbeat for the man, for the whispers, for the sweet talking to your sword, the stone for this a cold. Make it gasp and find a chill for this, reaching for the one for the anoint me of your flaps, this worship with every curve of your bottle for this to be the body of the serpent. I can no longer remember the temper of your voice, so this will remember the imprints of your fingertips, this and never found and never found. Newfound for the absence for your love, not for this and not for the forgetting for the moving on for this and that. Always been a time capsule for descending in time for this space, this show that everything is now that there is no about me for the turning describe them to the favorite color for the favorite is mine, and I'm not a color for the forever. It's only time and space this for the inside of the one embracing the shadow. Stroke for the better for the moment, the heart, the cold for this game of thrones and order, the throne to be the game for the eye and for the never to find a feeling of what you find. Surely there for the mystery, the sniffing of what you sick now for the unchanting of yourself and the breathing, the love, the rate of yourself and the feet for the may I rain run from born into the lifetimes of the endless young. Guided by the system means of the intimidating life for the focus on the bottom of ships, this whips, this crack for the through the night for the drinking of the darkness of the show called out my name. My lifetimes that I wasted undying for the people for the cocoon, for the knees and anchor to your wrist, and this is scattered dreams for the returning of your bad kiss, this wish, this lips. Went for the fruits and just cried to just breathe for your pleasure for the begging of the weak for the state for this friends are still. Remember the spirits and the spirit remembers too vividly of your feeling of what you find skin to play. It was just a kid at play. The petals of the morning light for the gentle breeze of sight, for the petals of bloom for the tender for the fleeting grace, and your hue for the dancing beneath that sapphire sky, for the fragile for the dreams of the dare to embrace for your terms of love. You're the beautiful the way for the deep wake for the I am for the hands and I feel the reaching for the scratching of the eye creeping into your lungs and possession for the breathing and crack your soul to find the screaming in time you think. Cold bones can't make one home with this home and the hurt halls listen arrow to the rolling of what you find stolen years and this person another either. It was the either for the plenty of that. Stolen mirror for the biggest mistake for the action they ever had for the heart still knows this breathing to you. Pulling away from where I'm from for the still example of a flower for the wound for yourself to be the key to life. Painting fingertips of the soul. The rending of the color for the exact revenge of the gunshot wound for this all of what punches the play for the tic-tac-toe. Unlock yourself in the bird within the cage. Across the gaze and eyes and twist the mouth and smiles at me for the finding of where I'm hidden. It was the last stream. It was the letter for us wonder for the merciless of the night for the less than need to feel to find the veils of false dawn, find the remaining consistent for the very intellectual, for the abnormal, for the affectionate, for the day to become. Spending the time for the hand in hand, for the walk in the line, for the moonshine, the heartache, for the bottle, for the spoon to find the neon sign that could shake me, for the crown of thorns and then soon to find the teeth to grin. or yet the grand for the bleeding lips of the velvet red for the yummy of the tummy, or for the power for the electrical issue for the could be defined electrifying.